Matt Dennis calls Massey an escape artist with a dangerous history.
Williams says one of the escapees, Antoine Massey, threatened to stab him if he didn't help.
Dangerous game of cat and mouse with a man all too familiar with breaking the rules.
Antoine Massey, he's one of the 5 inmates still on the run after escaping the Orleans Parish Justice Center.
A local provider of electronic monitors says that Massey should never have been placed in the general jail population.
Now peep game, this the wild ass story of Antoine Massey, a real street phantom. A young intern goes to the system, been on the run since he can even spell parole. This ain't no fairy tale, this ain't no dramatized movie script. What you about to hear? All facts, gritty, raw, and straight out the real files. Let's rewind the clock back to December 14, 2007, New Orleans, Louisiana. 15-year-old Antoine Massey, babyface, but already neck deep in the game. Cops got him sitting tight in youth study center. That's the city's main juvenile lockdown. But this ain't no scared straight situation. They ain't holding him on some little playground fight or candy snatching. Nah, Antoine was locked up on armed robbery and aggravated assault. Real charges, grown man time. Now here's where it jump off. Antoine wasn't built to be caged. He was watching peeping game. Him and 5 other young dudes started clocking the building like hawks. And what they see, a weak spot. Not in the system, in the damn door. It busted lock. That ain't no metaphor. We talking straight up faulty lock hardware on the real door in a real jail. They move slick, real slick, find their way into a utility room, and what's sitting in there waiting? A box full of metal shackles. Them shackles wasn't used to restrain nobody that day. Nah, they flipped the script, used them as weapons, started beating the hell out of the windows like they was trying to punch through freedom itself, ass shattering, alarm screaming, but it ain't matter. 6 of them was already gone, out, and it's into the night like ghosts and gym shorts. And yo, get this, the same damn window used for another escape just 1 year earlier, September of 2006. That time, 10 kids broke out. Yeah, 10. So now you gotta ask, how the hell y'all let that slide twice? But this time, Antoine wasn't just a name on the sheet. He became the face of that breakout. 15 years old, but already shaking the whole city's legal system. The city started tweaking. Police running like chickens with their heads cut off. News buzzing, streets talking. 2 whole weeks go by, no sign of Antoine. Then out of nowhere, on a chill Saturday, dude popped back up like he just got back from vacation. No PD catch that boy walking on the I-10 service road in the east. Cool as hell, like he forgot he was on a run. No fight, no chase, he just got cuffed. Back in the system like he never left.
Last Friday, just after lunch, 6 inmates escaped from the city's juvenile jail called the Youth Study Center.
Before the Juvenile Justice Intervention Center became what it is today, it was the Youth Study Center. In 2007, Antoine Massey escaped from here. According to our partners at NOLA.com, police found Antoine Massey on the Interstate 10 service road in eastern New Orleans.
But they wasn't just mad, they was embarrassed. Now, December the 20th, a few days before Antoine got recaptured, Judge Mark Doherty started banging that hammer down. Not just on Antoine, not just on the other escapee, Delard Jones, but on 6 grown-ass adults working for the city. Contempt charges start flying at staff, guards, maybe even managers, people who supposed to run the youth study center. Even Mayor Ray Nagin and the youth study boss, Richard Winder, caught strays. Why? Because this wasn't just a kid escaping. This was a whole institutional failure. No training, no leadership, no security, just bad vibes and weak locks. And Chief Judge David Bell, he wasn't sugarcoating nothing. He straight up told the world this escape was the result of poor administration and poor government. Big facts. Even though Nagin later got dropped from the situation, the whole operation got put on blast. And then that ain't where it ended. December the 21st of 2007, 1 day after the judge snapped, the Juvenile Justice Project of Louisiana dropped a federal lawsuit on the city's head.
My organization is a nonprofit that focuses on reform of the juvenile justice system. We have been working in Louisiana for 14 years to try to improve conditions in juvenile facilities, but also increase alternatives outside of the juvenile justice system.
called the Youth Study Center a straight up hellhole. Talking mold on the walls, cockroaches in the cells, and kids locked down 22 hours a day. That ain't juvie, that's solitary confinement for minors. But back to Antoine. That little taste of freedom, it lit a fire in him. Dude ain't never look at balls the same way again. After that escape, he go quiet for a minute, but the streets don't forget, and neither do the cops. They keep his name in the system. They know Antoine Massey ain't done. Fast forward some years, Antoine growing up, but he ain't growing out the life. He back in the endo, streets talking, police on edge. Now the 7th District NOPD got tabs on him. That boy hot again. Name showing up in chatter, gunplay, chases, parole skips, and then boom, situation pops off on Haines Boulevard. 12 get a hit on a black SUV, supposedly linked to a shooting. They slide up, see the whip, and who in the driver's seat? That boy Antoine Massey. He see them lights flash, and he don't blink. He hit the gas, he gone. He flying like he got wings, blowing through lights, damn near causing wrecks left and right and shit. That ain't a chase, that's a warpath. Then in the heat of pursuit, he tossed something out the window on Morrison. The cops double back, scoop it up. It's a 40 caliber handgun. Illegal, felony level heat. Finally, his ride gives out. Engine dies on him. He pops open the door and takes off running. But 12 was on that boy back like wolves. They chase him down and tackle him on Bundy. Game over, at least for that day. They slap him with a whole lot of charges. Reckless driving, criminal trespass, evading the law, resisting arrest, felon with a firearm, plus parole violation from his armed robbery case. Dude was out on paper and was still moving like 12 couldn't touch him. But guess what? Even behind bars, Antoine ain't done writing his story, not even close, cause what comes next make that first escape look like child's play. So boom, last we left off, Antoine just got scooped up on Bundy after a wild police chase through the east. But let's break this down proper. Antoine wasn't just speeding, he was out there running for his life, running whole 40 out the window, bashing through intersections like 12 ain't applied to him. In the streets, they seen it. Word traveled fast. Antoine back in the cage. They hit him with everything they could find. Yeah, homie was already on paper from a prior armed robbery charge, and now he just stacked more time on top of time. But if you thought that was the end, you ain't been paying attention. For a lot of dudes, them steel balls break their spirit. But for Antoine Massey, prison was just another temporary situation. Fast forward a couple of years. Now it's August 26th, 2019, and Antoine sitting tight in the Morehouse Parish Detention Center, way out in Cullinston, Louisiana. Country town vibes, population barely hitting a few thousand. People thought a jail out there was low risk, like out of sight, out of mind. But Antoine, he ain't forgetting nothing. He watching, plotting, waiting. And that day, it all clicked. Him and another inmate break the hell out that facility like they got the blueprint from the inside. Not no message smash and grab type breakout. We talking strategic, like it was rehearsed. And bruh, it had a getaway called waiting. Little red rental car, engine running, driver in the seat. That's premeditated. Ain't no opportunity escape. That was planned for weeks. Now let's talk about what this move really meant. See, this ain't no juvenile hall this time. This grown man time. Antoine was in his 15-year-old wild and out. Now he was a full grown man with a rep, a history, and a damn target on his back. James Martis, the chief criminal deputy for Morehouse Parish, had to step in front of the camera and own it. He tell the media, we had an escape today and we're doing everything to find them. And that search immediate nationwide. Cops hit the wire, start pumping out alerts to other states, and guess what? It ain't take long to track the heat. They find Antoine and his co-defendant in Lancaster, Texas, almost 300 miles west of where they broke out. You heard that right, dude drove state to state like he was taking a damn road trip. And what's even crazier, they caught both of them boys the same day. For 48 hours, no weeks on the run story. They move fast, but the fast move faster. Antoine back in custody, back in chains, but now it's looking very different because by this point, his rap sheet ain't just long, it's violent. Back in Louisiana, while he's sitting in cells, another set of charges start stacking up. It's time from St. Tammany Parish. And these ones, these got real weight. We ain't talking about stolen cars or street fights. These charges will have a whole other type man shaking in his boots. Check the list. 2nd degree kidnapping, 2nd degree rape, domestic abuse, battery strangulation, protective order violation with battery. So this ain't just street beef no more. This penitentiary for life type heat. Now here's where it hit different. Cause up until this point, Antoine been known for running, escapes, chases, violations, all that shit. But these charges, they about to inflict trauma. Now you got the court system trying to thread all this together. Every parent want a piece of him. Morehouse, Orleans, St. Tammany, dude named F going across the state like it goes that never stayed put. Reporters try to keep up. Court clerks buried in files. Judges whispering in chambers trying to figure out who even gets him first. But let's not forget, this man escaped 2 separate jails. Let that sink in. That's not just dumb luck. That's systematic failure and repeat. Antoine Massey ain't just a man. He a walking indictment of how broken the system really is. You lock him up, he find the cracks. You chase him down, he vanished. You tried to rehabilitate him, but there was never any rehab in the room. From youth study center to Morehouse detention to wherever the hell he land next. Every step was just a pause, not a prison. But now, with the St. Tammany charges sitting on his back like a boulder, Antoine's future ain't just uncertain, it's down. You can feel the tension in courtrooms. You can hear it in the news broadcast. Everybody asking the same question. Is this the end of the road for Antoine Massey? And honestly, even the streets ain't sure. Cause when a man been running this long, sometimes even he don't know how to stop. Alright, let's take it back to August 26th of 2019. Escape from Morehouse Parish Detention Center. Cause that moment right there, that ain't just another breakout. That's Antoine's graduation from runaway to full-blown outlaw. That's the kind of mindset you build when your whole life you've been ducking, dodging, and outthinking the system. But what folks ain't know yet, that escape just opened a whole other bag. After that Texas takedown, Antoine gets shipped back to Louisiana. But this time the game done changed. See, St. Tammany Parish wasn't just chilling on the sideline. They had their own storm brewing. And Antoine was smack dab in the middle. These new charges, they hit different. But outside those walls, rumors started spreading like wildfire. Stories of violence, stories of escape, stories of a man once slipped through every crack, now trapped by his own demons. The prosecutors pushed hard. They painted Antoine as the danger, not just to the law, but to the people who ever trusted him. And the jury, they listened. The pressure mounted. The walls closed in. Antoine's options slim to none. Even in the darkest hour, he kept one thing locked down tight. That hunger to survive. This part of the story, it's a warning. The life Antoine lived, fast, wild, and reckless, came with a price tag he couldn't dodge forever. The walls were closing in fast. Antoine Massey had spent his life slipping through the cracks, dodging the system, and outsmarting the law.